Hey y'all, this is Road Rage here. I know I haven't posted in a while. It's been super crazy. I'm still on the couch. I'm still over at my family's house, but it's fine. It all works. Um, but the best part is I started truck driving school a few weeks ago. My first week it was a training. One day in the classroom because I already have my permit. So it was one day in the classroom. Was just drug, alcohol, and something else. Orientation stuff because they have to cover it due to state law or something. And then I've been out on the training. I guess you want to call it the training yard. Yeah. So my first week was just straight line backing. I can straight line back, okay-ish. I haven't killed any cones or anything lately, so I guess I'm doing pretty good straight line backing. But now we go into offsetting. I'll tell you what, offsetting is a pain in the royal ass. But I'm getting there. Getting there. I'm not 100% sure how good I'm doing, but I'm getting there. Pre-tripping, I got that shit down. In-cab, done. Not done, down. And the air brake test, down. I'm good. Even though I already have the air brake endorsement, or I don't have the restriction because I have my air brakes, I still have to take the air brake test. Okay, this is New Jersey's new regulations, by the way. Okay, New Jersey requires this crazy ass test. Before when I went for my road test, I didn't have to say things like properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or not leaking. I just had to identify the parts, and I was scored. But in this test, I had to open up the hood if they want me to open the hood. And the test, I solved the test last week over at the DMV. It was, how shall I say it, insane. Okay, now the first thing they do is they bring you inside the cab, and they do their the in-cab inspection. The trick of the in-cab inspection is you do not say, under any circumstances, that you're finished with your pre-cab, your in-cab inspection before you do your air brakes, because your air brakes are part of your in-cab. If you don't do your air brake inspection and you say you're finished with your in-cab, they fail you right there. They don't let you finish what you're going to say. They just fail you. So the tip there is don't say a word. Just do your in-cab and then go on to your air brake. So you say, I'm now going to perform my air brake inspection, and I'm going to do my governor test, my leak test, etc., etc., etc. Even though I have the endorsement, I still have to go through that process. Now, what they do now is instead of going around the whole vehicle, they pick out a section of the vehicle. They'll either have you pop the hood, identify the parts of the engine. It isn't just identifying the parts and saying properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken, or not leaking. They want you to say what the part does. So when you point at the alternator, you have to say, "This is my alternator. It charges the batteries and provides power to my vehicle." Now, after you say that, you say it's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not, the wires leading to and from are not frayed or damaged. The wires are properly mounted, secured on both ends. And then you also have to then you say that my alternator is belt driven. The pulley's probably mounted, secured, and it has no excessive play. And then you go to your belt and you say my belt has no more than a 3/4 inch of play on the belt. My belt is not worn, cracked, or damaged or frayed. You then when you point at the air conditioning compressor, which is on the same belt, you have to go back to the belt again. This is what New Jersey wants. But that's what they expect, so that's what we're going to do. But I have all that down. I like the methodology at the school I'm attending. Mike's driving school is awesome. It's a laid back atmosphere. You don't have the instructors yelling at you and screaming at you. They allow you to make mistakes, and they allow you to learn from your mistakes. it's really laid back. I really like it. And then what they have the students do is, after the students learn it and they think they know it, they then explain to the new students who are coming in what to do. So it's basically applying your knowledge and then teaching your skill to somebody else to make sure that you master the knowledge. It's great, especially for the pre-tripping, because you got to get the pre-trip down. What I understand is they give you 30. You got to hit 35 points in each section that they give you. So if you don't hit your 35 points in your engine pre-trip, you fail your pre-trip. Okay, because you're not walking around the rest of the truck. You got to get 35 points in the engine compartment. Okay, and then you also have to talk about the front axle too. Okay, so when you talk about the engine compartment, you also got to talk about the front axle, and that means everything attached to that axle, the leaf springs, the U-bolts holding leaf springs to the axle. You have to talk about the brake chamber, and you have to talk about the brake the air hoses leading to and from the brake chamber. You have to talk about the ABS line. You have to talk about the brake drum, the brake lining, the brakes. You have to talk about the inner wall, of the tire. You got to talk about the treads. You have to talk about the outer wall of the tire. You got to go into the rim. Then you got to talk about the hub. And you have to talk about all these items. Okay, now it isn't just like, oh yeah, this is the tire. You got to talk about your tread depth. You got to talk about not having any kind of abrasions. Oh yeah, see, I can't even remember now. It's ABC. Abrasions, bulges, or cuts on the tires. On the treads or on the sidewalls. You have between 100 and 110 pounds per square inch of pressure. You have you check it using a tire gauge, because we're not allowed to use the hammer anymore. So it's no longer taking the hammer and beating on the tire and listening for a different tone on the other side of the tire. You actually had to take an air pressure gauge and put the air pressure gauge up against it, onto the what are they called? Air pressure gauge onto the. Oh man, I forgot what they're called again. Whatever. Onto the stems. So she tests the stems. Thankfully, the stem caps are allow you to check the air pressure without having to take the caps off. So that's a plus on the trucks anyway. The bus, yeah, different story. But the trucks, they have the they give you the ability to check the air with the stem caps on. But when you talk about the stems, you have to talk about the stem cap is metal, the stems are metal, and they're not cracked or damaged, and they're not leaking. And then of course we talk about the hub, and we talk about how the wheel is properly mounted to the tire is properly mounted to the rim, and then we talk about the rim, how it's not cracked, bent, or broken, and there are no illegal welds on the rim. Then we go and talk about the studs that the lug nuts are attached to, that they're all present. And that the lug nuts are properly mounted and secured to the studs, and that they're all present. There are no rust trails on the rim, indicating that we have a loose lug, and there are no metal shavings indicating that the lug is rubbing against the studs. Or the studs are rubbing up against the rim. And then we go down to the hub. We mentioned that the hub is properly mounted, secured. All the bolts are present, none are missing, and that the hub is not cracked, bent, or broken. And then we say we're able to look at the hub, see if there's hub grease inside the hub by using a sight glass. If we have to, we can take the hub seal off, put our finger in, and feel for the grease for the grease. Then we can put the hub seal back on. There's a lot there. There's a lot to talk about. But it's all good. It's good. I'm excited. But driving school is going well. I'm hoping to master the offset backing this week, so I can start parallel parking and alley docking next week. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks I'll be ready for my road test. Um, but yeah, all's going well on the trucking side. As far as my life's concerned, well, things are going the way how they're going. I'm not going to complain. Um, but I ordered some new sunglasses because my Oakleys disappeared. They disappeared on the one route I had going up to North Jersey. So only thing I can assume is one of the students swiped them off. Swiped them out of the bag. My bag was behind my back. But I have a new set of Ray-Bans coming in, so I'll be able to hide my eyes again. Because I love my shades. I don't like just wear my prescription glasses. I like wear my prescription shades. Let's see. I think that's about it. I'm still driving for the bus company. They moved me off of school buses and into the minivan. The company has a policy about having to have 5 years experience with the company before they'll put a driver into a minivan. I've been with the company for a year. July 7th marked my one year anniversary with the Student Transportation of America, and they moved me into one of their minivans, which is amazing because they don't do that with new drivers, which is really cool. But also shows my professionalism, my dedication to my work. Let's see. I'm going to throw a link to the truck driving school I'm attending because, again, I don't think that there's another truck driving school like this one. They're amazing over there. As I said, they're laid back. They lie to they lie to make mistakes. They don't yell at you when you make a mistake. They're patient. The class sizes they're small. We get several chances a day to practice our backing up and our yard maneuvers. The yard is a good sized yard, so we have plenty of room to run a couple of trucks for the different maneuvers. We also have what else? The instructors, as I said, are really good. They're experienced. They know their shit. They really do. With that, keep on trucking, road rage out, and hopefully I'll be on the road sooner or later.